put the whole world at our feet at Tikkabilla. Tikkabilla, it's a wonderful place to be.
Hello, and welcome to Tikkabilla.
Hello. Today, we're making a thank you card.
Tamba went to a party and had a lovely time.
Hello. I thought we could send a card to say thank you.
Oh, yes.
How could we make a card, Simon?
Well, shall I show you, Tamba?
Oh, yes, please.
While you do that, I'll go and find an envelope. I'll see you later.
So what sort of thank you card shall we make?
I don't know.
How about a bird card?
Oh, yes.
OK, now to make a bird card, the first thing we do is to fold a paper plate over like that, because this is going to be the body of the bird. Now watch what happens once you've folded it over. Yeah, it goes wobbly. Now this is the body of the bird. What do birds have all over them and on their wings and helps them fly?
Feathers.
Feathers. And the first thing we need to do is to make some tail feathers for the bird. And I've got a piece of paper. I'm going to fold it in two, because we need two sets of bird feathers. And if we've got it in two, then we can have both of them. Now, I need to draw around your fingers.
Oh,
That's it. Put them on there.
like that.
And I've got a pencil. I'm going to draw all the way around Tamba's fingers like this. Is it ticklish?
Yeah.
There we go. Now when you move your hand away, that's the shape of our tail feathers. The next thing you have to do is cut them out. Now, if you're cutting out and you're going to use a pair of scissors, best to get a grown-up to do it for you, because scissors can be very sharp. Was it a nice party, Tamba?
It was great.
Did they play lots of games? Did you have nice things to eat?
We had a chocolate birthday cake.
Oh, very nice too. And I hope you all sang happy birthday.
Oh, yes.
Good. There we go. Now, those are our tail feathers. Look.
Oh.
And we need to glue those to the back of the bird. Can you help me with the gluing?
I'll try.
Thank you. There we are. I'm going to put our glue on. And we glue all over the back part. That's it.
Like that.
Bit more. Bit more. There, that's it. Shall I help you just to put a bit more glue on that side? Now then, when I glue our tail feathers on, whoops.
Thank you. I'll get it.
Thank you, Tamba. When I glue our tail feathers on, there.
Wow.
That's our tail feathers. Now, if we've got tail feathers at one end of the bird, what should we have at the other end?
A beak.
A beak. And to make a beak, I've got some orange paper, and I'm going to cut out a shape. Now, can you guess what shape that is?
A triangle.
It's a triangle shape. And if we fold it over, we can have a beak like this. There we go. That looks like a beak, doesn't it?
Oh, I see.
And I'll put some sticky tape on it to keep it stuck down like that, and another piece on the other side. Now, birds have to see as they fly along, otherwise they'd bump into all sorts of things, wouldn't they? So we need a couple of eyes, and I've got a blue bit there and a red sticker for the inside, and then a blue bit on the other side with a red sticker too. And look, we've got some feathers here. I think we should put some feathers on the side of our bird. But what colour feather should we put on?
Yellow.
Should we put a yellow feather on? OK. Bit of sticky on the side. And we'll put one yellow feather on, like that. And one more. What colour shall we have next?
Blue.
Blue. There we go. And a sticky
Wow,
blue bit of feather there
that looks great.
as well. And that's our thank you card. Now, who's the thank you card from?
Me.
From you. Do you want to write your name on it?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Now, which colour would you like to write your name in?
Purple like me.
Purple like you. So if I put the card down there,
Yeah.
and take the top off the pen, and you can write your name.
Thank you.
T. A.
M.
M.
B.
B. Ah, very good. I'll take your pen. And that is your thank you card. Whoops. There's your thank you card. And who is it from? It's from Tamba.
Tamba, I found you an envelope. Oh, is that your thank you card?
Do you like it?
Oh, it's lovely. We'll need to post that later. I think there's somebody else posting letters through the windows. Let's go and see. How many windows? 1, 2, 3. Round, square, or arched? Which one will it be? It's the round window. Lewis is writing on an envelope.
Lovely, Lewis.
He's sending a birthday card to his friend Ilana.
Okay.
Don't forget the stamp.
Do you know where you're sticking it?
What should we do now?
I think we should go and post it. Come then.
And there's the post box. This postman is collecting all of the letters that have been put into this post box. Oh, there's Lewis's letter. This is where the postman takes the letters. It's called the sorting office. These bags are full of letters. The bags are emptied into this machine. The machine can tell what size they are and how heavy they are. It looks a bit like a giant tumble dryer, doesn't it? This machine is amazing because it can read the addresses and the postcodes on all of the envelopes in seconds. Letters that go to the same area are grouped together in a pile. It only takes a few seconds from the moment the bags are emptied into the machine to being put on these shelves. Have you spotted Lewis's letter yet? These trolleys are full of sorted mail, waiting to be delivered to lots of different places. The bags go into the back of a van. They leave the sorting office, ready for the postman to deliver. Alana's birthday card arrives at last. Happy birthday, Alana. Well, that letter went on a long journey, didn't it, Tamba? Yeah. And we're going to go on a long journey. Will you come with us?
How are we going to get there? Train? Woo-woo. Or boat? Or bus? Ding, ding. Or plane?
We're going to walk over a mountain.
Oh, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain to see what he could see.
And all that he could see, and all that he could see
Was the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain.
was all that he could see.
Woo! Oh, Tamba went over the mountain, Tamba went over the mountain, Tamba went over the mountain.
To see what I could see, and all that I could see, and all that I could see
Was the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain.
was all that I could see.
The balloon went over the mountain, the balloon went over the mountain, the balloon went over the mountain.
To see what it could see, and all that it could see, and all that it could see
Was the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain, the other side of the mountain.
was all that it could see.
It's time for today's story. Should we have a look at the Tikkabilla clock? Tikkabilla, Tockabilla, Tikkabilla, Tock. What's the time on the Tikkabilla clock? Well, the long hand is pointing towards the number 12. Do you know what that means? That means it's something o'clock. And the short hand is pointing towards the number 6. So the clock says it's 6 o'clock. But what's underneath the clock? A red balloon with silver stars. Now the book is called A Balloon for Grandad. It was a warm day, so the back door stood wide open, and Sam's balloon snuggled up against the ceiling. It was bobbing and bumping in the breeze. After breakfast, Sam and Dad went upstairs to wash their hands. Then, from the bathroom window, Dad caught sight of a glint of silver and red. "Look, there goes your balloon," he said. "It must have blown out of the back door." They watched it rising up as straight and smooth as a lift on its way to the very top floor of a building taller than the tallest tree. They ran downstairs and went outside. Up and up went the balloon, jerkily, fidgety now, in fits and starts, like a rock climber zigzagging up a cliff. And then, when it was so high it looked like a tiny red berry in the sky, the wind grabbed it. "I want my balloon," Sam cried. "No," said the wind, "it's mine, all mine." And off rushed the balloon, in a hurry now, south towards the mountains. "Don't cry," said Dad. "Across the mountains is the sea. And across the sea is the desert. And across the desert a river, and in the river an island." "And on that island," said Sam, "my granddad Abdullah lives, looking after his goats and tending his date trees." "That's right," said Dad. "Perhaps," said Sam, "my balloon is going to visit Grandad Abdullah." "Yes," said Dad. "It will fly high, high, high over the snow-decorated mountains where golden eagles nest. High, high over the sparkling blue-green sea where silverfish leap from the waves. High over the hot yellow sand of the desert where scorpions and spitting spiders and sidewinder snakes hide from the heat. And sandgrouse will peck at it," said Sam, "and falcons will fall on it, and hawks will fly after it, and vultures with their big hooky beaks and their sharp talons will tear at it. But the dry desert wind will help it to dodge and weave, and nothing will harm it." "That's right," said Dad. "And then, tired after its long journey, it will see down below the long blue ribbon of the river. It will see the small gold and emerald jewel of the island. It will see the little brown house built of baked mud." "Yes," said Sam, "and it will see Grandad Abdullah sitting in the shade of his mango tree. And down, down, down it will glide, landing in the yard like a seagull settling on the sea. And Grandad Abdullah will say, 'A balloon for me. My grandson Sam must have sent it to show that although he's so far away, he's thinking of me.'" "Yes, it's sad to see it go," said Dad, "but the balloon will be happy after its great adventure. And Grandad Abdullah will be happy thinking of you." "I'm glad my balloon's gone to see Grandad," said Sam, "because if I know Grandad's happy, then I feel happy too."
Sam was sad when his balloon flew away.
But it was great because he was happy in the end.
Yes, he was. How can people tell what we are feeling?
How can they know what mood we're in?
All we have to do is start revealing our feelings. This is how we do it. Let's begin. Oh, if I am happy, this is what I do. I jump up and down. You do it too. Show that you're happy. Jump along with me. We're happy for all to see. We're happy. Yeah, we're happy. We're happy. You and me.
Oh, if I am grumpy, this is what I do. I stomp around the house, you do it too. Show that you're grumpy, stomp around with me. We're grumpy for all to see. We're grumpy, yeah, we're grumpy. We're grumpy, you and me.
If I am sad, this is what I do. I cry, cry, cry. You do it too. Show that you're sad and cry along with me. We're sad for all to see. We're sad. Yeah, we're sad. We're sad. You and me.
Not anymore, we're not. Oh, if I'm excited, this is what I do. I run and run and run. You do it too. show you're excited. Run along with me, we're excited for all to see. We're excited, we're excited, we're excited, you and me.
So let's add your feelings and all will be fine. Different ones at different times. Jump when you're happy and cry when you're sad. 'Cause feelings aren't hard feelings. Give you a laugh. Feelings aren't hard bad.
Well, somebody else who's feeling very happy is Sammy. Let's find out why.
This is Sammy. He lives with his mum and dad, his sister Anuja, and his granddad Sonny. Sammy is 4.5 years old. And Sammy loves to daydream. It was Friday, and Sammy was in his favourite sweet shop, trying to decide how to spend his pocket money. Although the shop was small, it was stuffed from floor to ceiling with jars of sweets of every colour and flavour imaginable. Sammy stood and looked for some time, wondering whether to go for the chocolate beans or the pear drops or maybe something else. It was difficult, but in the end he chose the chewy, fruity sweets. The shopkeeper took down a jar and began to measure out the sweets, but there were hardly any left. "I'm afraid you'll have to wait a minute while I go and fetch some more," said the shopkeeper. "That's okay," said Sammy, who was quite happy to stand and look at the sweets for a bit longer, although the smell was starting to make his mouth water. Almost as soon as the shopkeeper had turned his back, something very strange happened. There were squeaks and murmurs and whimpers coming from the jars all around Sammy, almost as if the sweets were alive and moving. Up on the shelves, the noises grew louder and louder, and one of the jars began to wobble uncontrollably. Sammy was afraid it might fall and break when the lid suddenly flew off and marshmallows exploded across the shop. They began to bounce gleefully off the walls and ceiling, shouting, "Whee!" as they went. Sammy was wondering what to do when he heard a faint whistling sound from a shelf somewhere high above his head. It was quite dark in the shop, and Sammy couldn't see what was making the noise until it whizzed past his ear and landed on the counter in front of him. It bounced a few times and skidded along the polished worktop before crashing to a halt by the licorice bootlaces. Sammy peered over the edge of the counter to see what it was, and what he saw was a little man made entirely from sweets sitting on a sherbet flying saucer. "Come on, help me," he called to Sammy, who was trying to avoid being hit. "We've got to get them back in the jar before they break something." And he grabbed a passing marshmallow, flew up to the shelf and dropped it into the top of the jar. But no sooner had he let go than the marshmallow jumped out again and was back, flying around with his friends. Sammy reached out and grabbed a handful as they whizzed past. He stuffed them into the jar and put the lid on quickly so they couldn't get out. The sweet man flew backwards and forwards across the shop so fast that all Sammy could see was a pink blur. He grabbed the mischievous marshmallows one by one and dropped them into the jar which Sammy was holding. But as fast as he worked, there still seemed to be hundreds more bouncing all over the shop. Then, in the midst of it all, the shopkeeper reappeared. The marshmallows froze in midair. "Right, here we are," he said, and went back to weighing out the fruity chews. Luckily, the shopkeeper had forgotten to put his glasses on and was too busy squinting at the scales to notice the marshmallows as they flew back into their jar. Sammy put the lid on and slid them onto the shelf. The sweet man, on his flying saucer, doffed his cap and ducked behind a jar of jelly beans, and the shopkeeper didn't see a thing. Sammy bought his sweets and said goodbye. Outside, while he walked up the street to meet his mother, he felt something moving in his pocket. He reached in and pulled out a marshmallow. It bounced up and down in the palm of his hand a few times, squeaking, then hopped off along the pavement back to the shop. "Come on, Sammy," called his mother. "Stop daydreaming." Sammy popped a fruity chew in his mouth and ran to meet her. He wasn't so sure that he had been daydreaming.
Sammy had a great time in the sweet shop, and we've got our own sweet shop here in the Tikkabilla house. In fact, we've got a whole row of shops.
We have. There's a baker shop and a sweet shop.
There's a greengrocer's, and there's a very tall post office. Tall shops, small shops, all around the town. Lifts going up and lifts going down. Doors swinging in and out. People rushing all about.
Tall shops, small shops, all around the town. Lifts going up, lifts going down. Doors swinging in and out. People rushing all about. Big shops, small shops, shops all standing in a row. When we want to buy some bread, this is where we go. We buy our bread from the baker's shop. They sell to young and old, so we shop at the baker's shop, 'cause that's where bread is sold. Big shops, small shops, shops all standing in a row.
When we want to buy some fruit, this is where we go. We buy our fruit from the greengrocers. They sell to young and old. So we shop at the greengrocers, 'cause that's where fruit is sold.
Big shops, small shops, shops all standing in a row.
When we want to buy some sweets, this is where we go. We buy our sweets at the sweetie shop. They sell to young and old.
So we shop at the sweet shop, 'cause that's where sweets are sold. Big shops, small shops, shops all standing in a row. When we want to buy some stamps, this is where we go. We buy our stamps from the post office. They sell to young and old. So we shop at the post office, 'cause that's where stamps are sold.
Perfect, because we need to post Tamba's thank you card.
And we have to go because we've got to put it in the post box. So till next time,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Bye. Stamp here.
Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, fun for you and me. Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, watch and you will see. Tikkabilla, Tikkabilla, it's a wonderful place to be.
This is an egg.